What makes a movie scary? Quick answer, jump scares. Okay, I think we got the idea. But what makes a movie terrifying? In a movie market saturated with cash grabs and horror flicks, riddled with cheap jump scares, it's easy to forget the original meaning of horror movies, the exploration of terror. One director who truly understands the fundamental elements to terrify an audience is David Lynch. Hi, my name is Meg Hui, and today I would like to explore the mind-bogglingly uncanny mind of David Lynch through one of his most famous and influential works, Mulholland Drive. The world of Mulholland Drive is needless to say abnormal, but one scene stands out in general and somehow explains the grand theme of the movie, the diner scene.
To get rid of this god-awful feeling.
In the diner scene of Mulholland Drive, Dan and Herb chat about a dream that takes a dark turn. The dream mirrors their current diner setting, but it becomes a nightmare when Dan sees a terrifying homeless man. Disturbed? Dan confronts his fear by declaring the non-existence of the homeless man, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling the encounter brought. Before we go any further, let's discuss what's going on at the moment. The setting is familiar. It's crowded with people talking and eating. The street is busy. The scene feels like it's supposed to be safe, but somehow everything feels so off, as if we're stuck in a dream. Sure, there are people and cars around, but we don't actually hear any of that.
That's it.
So, you came to see if he's out there.
Making a seemingly normal scene become so odd that it subconsciously instills fear into our brains. As of now, the pacing of the scene is slow, mostly carried by unnerving dialogues and uncomfortable pauses. But the second the two men step out of the Winkies, the atmosphere is ruffled with passing cars. Dan's worries grow as the doubting of the man's non-existence slowly turns into dreadful certainty. The line between reality and dream starts fading away. The setting has completely changed into a deserted back alley with no one in sight. Or, at least, that's what Dan's hoping for. The camera work is also worth mentioning here. When we were still in the diner, the camera hovers between the two characters in an unfixed manner, as if it were a ghost. The extended duration of shots forces audience to focus on characters' environment, intensifying the suspense. Adding to the uncanniness of the scene, unconventional camera angles are heavily used, including tilted or skewed shots, disorienting the reality of the scene. When they finally leave the diner, the camera stays at the table, as if it was just a visitor all along. But as new territory is introduced, i.e. the outside, the camera stays ahead. Now leading the way, the constant shifting from the two men to their point of view intensively builds up the tension as they approach the supposed homeless man. As they get closer, the camera starts zooming into the wall and becomes more stable. A non-diegetic sharp noise appears along with the grotesque face we had anticipated for so long, nearly filling up the shot. But the shot quickly cuts back to Dan. Now having seen the face he had dreaded for so long, he's drowned with terror and passes out. A conventional horror movie would fill the scene with screams and loud bangs, following a jump scare. But here, Lynch downs the audio with an ominous sub-bass, creates such a big contrast to our ears that causes viewers actual physical pain and discomfort. Lynch leaves us with no relief, for our character is still not okay. The tension is still high, and the terror is never ending. Terror and horror has always been mistaken for each other in movie history. Just like Lynch, another director I absolutely adore that understands the fine line between the two definitions is Jordan Peele, and he utilizes it frequently in Nope, released in 2022. In a tracking shot of a relatively quiet studio, we hear violent banging and smashing, but we do not actually see what's doing it. Instead, the camera pans around unrelated sceneries, forcing us to imagine the carnage by ourselves. And in a way, that makes it so much more unsettling, as it is a human's instinct to always assume the worst of events to ensure our safety. The same goes with the diner scene. Dan describes the homeless man's face as,
I hope that I never see that face ever outside of a dream.
This description is extremely vague, which leaves many room for viewers' interpretation, making the ambiguity of the man all more terrifying. And when we finally see the mysterious man, it's actually a woman, which in a way subtly makes her appearance more uncannily unsettling. And just like that, a classic Lynch movie is born. And it's funny, while having one of the most iconic jump scare in history, the movie itself isn't even a horror movie. The diner at first glance might seem like it doesn't have anything to do with the overall plot of Mulholland Drive, but it actually helps establish the overall theme and tone of the film. It excellently shows the blurry line between reality and dream. This seemingly mundane diner encapsulates the surreal and complex nature that defines the entire cinematic experience of Mulholland Drive.